Today, I visited Kärt and the team at their Cambridge labs as they start delivering commercial partnerships and developing more technologies. When we met Kärt, she was a postdoc researcher that had spent time between the US and the UK exploring how to turn her novel scientific insights into real-world applications. We have seen her transitioning out of academia to become a founder and CEO of a company that is redesigning synthetic DNA to mimic nature, enabling higher expression, better yields, and improved performance of protein-based medicines and gene therapies. The first time actually that we're sitting down with a founder, because so far we've sat down with mainly investors and with operators in the later stages.
Yeah.
And of course, it's great to kick it off with you, Kärt. We're now at a stage where 2 rounds in, secured a lead customer, which is probably the biggest feat for any biotech company. You've got great infrastructure around you from a lab perspective, and especially from a team perspective, right? You managed to bring on board the people that you wanted, and now you have a headcount of some
16 as of last week.
There you go. Any regrets? Do you miss what you were 4 years ago as opposed to being the CEO of this company today?
You know, Ale, I don't look backwards in general. Like I don't, there are different type of people who focus on going forward and people who are very retrospective, and thinking backwards I don't do, but thinking forwards, I've noticed a trend that I don't want to do the next obvious thing just because it's the next easy and obvious thing. And that is something that I spend actually a lot of time thinking. Throughout academic career is really, like a step after step after, it's all well trodden, right? I mean, it's not easy to get the next step, but it's very clear what the next step is, right? You do undergrad, then master's, then a PhD, then a postdoc, and then you start your own lab, right? It's a very, and at every single one of those steps, I took time off to be like, well, do I want to do that just because I can? And that someone is telling me that that's the next step I should take. Is that the next step I want to take? So this aisle is where we do protein work, and this aisle is where we do bacteria work. So our computational team designs up a library, like millions of some sort of designs. Mm-hmm. The first step is bacterial work, because the way we make the final bits we can put into cells is using the help of bacteria. So we use bacteria to kind of glue things together, amplify them up. Mm-hmm. Bacteria does that for us. Then we go to the clean room or cleaner area. That's on the other side. And that's where we take these different designs that are now turned into DNA, and we put them into real human cells. We do the experiments in human cells, and then we want to know how well did the experiment go. So we're taking the RNA and DNA out of the human cells. And then if we want to measure what happened in the cells in the protein point of view, that's when we come here to the protein aisle. So it's kind of like the start of the journey and the end of the journey is here.
I see.
And then the data that those guys produce, so Liliana puts things onto nanopore or sequencers there, and literally it uploads to Stan's computer, and we've done the full loop so he can start training and designing the next library.
Fantastic.
I think what was unique, Kärt, in your case, and actually in a lot of companies that have done things right so far, is you actually had a sense of the people that you wanted to bring on board as a founding team, which is quite rare.
You should give some credit to yourself, because this idea of understanding operations and needing a partner that is really fluent in there, could have very well been seeded at the Wilbe course a year before. Right?
Do you think that more people would help you move faster?
It's difficult. As the team grows, it does get more difficult, more challenging. More people means more issues will come up, and also management time is also more significant. So small teams can have their benefits. At the end of the day, if you ask any scientist, why they do the job they do, okay, there is obviously a money component, but most of them are driven by the science, the work, the people. And actually knowing what drives and motivates people is the main thing, with people management. And actually, if you look at the guys here, they enjoy working on solving these types of problems. Mm-hmm. That's the best way to deliver. So I have no regrets.
Yeah. And did you ever fight that decision of becoming a PI with becoming an entrepreneur, or?
100%. Yeah, no. I think that in general, a lot of people have asked like, oh, how did you make this big leap into entrepreneurship? And in my mind, it was very, very similar leap. Mm-hmm. I was thinking, okay, I have this really good idea. I think it would be really fun to do it with more people, more power to this very cool idea. And either if you do it in academia or in a startup setting, your job is kind of similar. You need to bring in money, you need to get in people.
Would you say that now you are split 50-50 between science and operational roles, or is there a strict separation?
We're definitely not 50-50, and I don't think we should be 50-50 yet at this early stage. We're very R&D heavy company, so science should have a much higher pedal.
You went right to the board, and you've also done 2 pretty reasonable, successful fundraisers.
Smashing.
just being modest here. Fingers crossed, it's an interesting environment. What have been some of the lessons from the first raise?
You cannot convince someone to invest in you. They need to be excited about the company, and you will know it the moment you start talking to the company. And so that is not something that you should spend your energy on. If someone comes to the call and doesn't really get it, it's okay, move on. But also being generous to the other person. There's nothing wrong with the fact that they don't think it's not that's completely okay. People will always be important, but it's not going to be just you. The whole team is going to be evaluated, especially the leadership team.
We're now at the stage where you've got enough money to deliver on what has been agreed with this particular partner. What is the next phase from this?
Chance favors the prepared mind, right? And so how do you become prepared, right? It's opportunities come and go, but you have to be able to recognize on them and be bold enough to act on them. And that recognition comes only when you're aware of what's happening in the bigger picture. At least that's how I feel it. If you truly believe that your technology is worth unlocking something enormous, who better to do it than yourself? Like, if you really have conviction that this is really, really good, then you should.
Hey, thank you for having us here. Should have come earlier.
Yeah.
Or sooner.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing the thoughts and allowing us also to film with the team.
With 2 pharma partnerships in the bag, the team is challenging the tone and speed of biotech innovation, and proving that when building a generational venture, competence matters as much as the heart. If protein expression is a priority for your company, do connect with the team at ExpressionEdits.com. Like Kärt, if you're a scientist or an engineer, you can start your entrepreneurial journey by joining Wilbe. Check Wilbe.com. Start today.